There he is. Alright, first catfish of the night. Or evening, I guess. It's not quite night. Fishing with 3-way slip sinker rigs and cut bait right now. Water's pretty high. It's almost flooded. You might be able to call it flooded. It's a couple feet high. Or at least it's probably a couple feet high, but it's a foot higher than it was last week, because last week it was still high, I guess is how I'd put it. So water's definitely high. It's pretty murky, kind of half clear, half muddy. This is just a small cat. I'm pulling him in pretty fast. A few hours before sunset. I'm just fishing that swirl in the middle there. There's a current break and a backwater. It's relatively deep because the water's so high right now. There's definitely cat stacked, and I have faith in that. This discoloration in the water should just make it better, if anything. He's not tiny, but he's on the small side. I'm guessing. I haven't seen him yet. Fishing with circle hooks too. Love circle hooks. Just make everything easier. He's really dogging it, man. He does not want to be beached. Probably just your standard average catfish around here at best. That's my guess. Fishing with a pretty light line on this pole, just 15-pound test. When you get a catfish dogging it in the current, man, 15 doesn't do a lot for you. There's not a lot of current here, but most of my spots have current. This is like a more sporting pole. You got to play them out on this one. The other one has 30-pound test. Just come down, catch a few catfish, have some fun. Gotta love how they fight. I'll put up a good fight for you. And this guy's got some energy. Still don't think he's big, I just think he has some spunk to him. Pulling him in pretty easy, but he's going right back out. I don't want to force him. These rigs aren't brand new. This line has some cuts in it and junk. I just want to take my time with them. Gotta tire him out here. Oh, he's decent, I guess. He's okay sized. Not that big, but it's not quite as small as I thought. 29.5 inches and 9 pounds 9 ounces, or maybe 9 pounds 10 ounces. So maybe just a little bit above average for around here. Nice eggy female. Let her go here. Another bite. That was pretty fast. I went to rebait the other pole, barely got that done, and then this one's going off. This is looking pretty good. This river's so full of catfish, man. Everywhere I go, every current break I fish, I do really well. Gosh, man. Catfish and bass. And there's pretty good population of walleye too, but man, especially catfish and bass. It's just ridiculous amounts of them. This guy's coming in pretty easy too. Hoping to get a 20-pounder sometime this spring. That'd be great. I don't want to say I get bored of all the 10-pounders, but I'd like to see something bigger. I mean, the 10-pounders are fun, but still. This guy's coming in real fast. Now he's gonna do the same thing as the last one. Make little circles right in front of me. Feels lighter. Doesn't feel as big. And catfish are just strange fish. the way they hit is so strange. It's not like bullheads at all. Bullheads will just suck it in and not think twice about it. Catfish they'll peck at it for like sometimes a minute or two or more, and then suddenly they'll just run with it. You know, they just like strike me as like some spontaneous, like frantic fish. They're really good at dogging it too. They stay tight to the bottom pretty well. This is going pretty well. Yeah, this is just a little guy. This is the size I thought the last one was. 25 and a half. Back in he goes. This one took about a good, I don't know, 45 seconds after I set it back up. So hot. Just ridiculous. That one got a hit down there, but I don't have that one quite on the current break. You can see all the scum, like the tan scum line. That's where the current meets the slack water. And that's where I got this one set up. It's a little bit closer to me over here to the left. Down there I don't have it quite on it because I can't quite hit it with that heavy line. So I have that one like 5-10 feet shy of the current break. I think it's making a difference. They're usually stacked up right on the current break. This guy's taking some drag early. It might be a good sign, maybe. You never know though, sometimes they have different attitudes. I've had small ones fight with, I don't know, so much power and attitude, and had big ones once in a while just lump in, once in a great while. So you never really know until you see them, I guess, but he's coming in pretty easy now. Most of them are probably going to be in the 5 to 10 pound range, I would guess. That's what usually happens. Might get lucky though, we'll see. Let them run. Let them run. There's a lot of mud and dirt on the line and stuff. It creates extra friction. You want to be on the cautious side of anything in a muddy spot. Especially if the mud starts getting in your reel. They'll get all dusty because the sun will dry it out. And then it'll make a really nasty sound going through the guides. And that's when you know you got to be careful until you can wash your reel off. It's not too bad yet, but I'm not really rolling around in the mud either. That's my experience in muddy spots. This is great, man. And I didn't expect this to be this hot. I usually just get, I don't know. I mean, I don't usually fish down here with cut bait. When I fish with other baits down here, I just get tiny cats, 18, 20 inches. Not surprised though. There's real good cat holes upstream and downstream of this. So I'm sure there's big ones here. Just got to use the right bait at the right time. He's a decent one. In between those two other ones probably, maybe. Gosh, I love circle hooks. I'm guessing it's dead on tonight. It's 28 and a half. A little bit chunky, but not as fat as that first one. There's a catfish. Holy cow. This guy's ripping with it. Oh man, I waited 2 hours for another bite. Finally got one just a moment ago. I switched cut bait types, got a new bite, and then this guy's the first guy to really rip with it when he takes it. Excited. Maybe he's good size, maybe he just has attitude, I don't know. But anyway, I waited 2 hours for a bite. Why is he coming in so easy? Whatever. I waited 2 hours for a bite, and one started bobbing the rod down. Finally. Took a call from my friend in Tennessee. Just didn't know what was going on. I was guessing I thinned out all the big ones, and there was just little ones left because getting these little pecks. Oh yeah, he's got an attitude, man. Angry cat. But if he is a cat, once in a while you pick up a pike or something on cut bait. yeah, he started bobbing the rod down, and I didn't set the hook on him because I'm using circle hooks. You don't want to do that, but I lifted the rod up and started reeling, and it just wasn't there. And then when I got the bait in, the hook rehooked itself onto the bait, which obviously means it can't get into the fish's mouth. So that was really frustrating, but no big deal because I got the redeemer fish here. Shoot, shoot, shoot. If he doesn't cross that line there, don't want that. I'd rather catch this fish anyway. This fish has way more attitude than that last one that fell off did. Way more attitude. It's a decent fish. Exciting. It's getting towards sunset. I might fish after dark. Also might hop spots. I don't know. Depends how if this spot produces more. Not sure. He's going in tight little circles. I gotta believe he's a cat. They always do that. They'll circle around in like a little 2-foot radius towards the bottom. I don't want to lose this guy. I'm really interested in how big he is. So I never have him rip like this. Rarely, you know. I'm wondering if he's a better sized fish. Doesn't feel better, but maybe, just maybe he is. I hope so. This guy did not play with it, man. He bent. I don't think I turned the camera on time, but the rod bent over and the reel just started screaming. While it was stuck in the pipe there. I have the rod's piped into the ground. He might be at least as good as the first one because I'm not getting him in one run. He's taking a few little runs here. These are decent ones I'm getting. 25 and a half, 28 and a half, and a 29 and a half. The two bigger ones are just a little above average. Average I get is like, I don't know. Some days it's 26. Some days, on a bad day it's 25. On a good day it's 28 maybe, the average inches. He's not that big. Just got an attitude. He's a decent one. It's not a trophy, but he's a master angler fish for New York. 11 1/4 pounds, about 30 inches. Double decker though, real fat with eggs, tall in the back, super thick fish. Nice catfish, you know. I'd call it a big one being like above average. Not a trophy fish though, but definitely an above average catfish for around here. Alright, let him go here. There we go. Right around sunset. I picked another one up. Awesome. I was hoping for a fifth one. Not the hottest day of catfish I've ever had by a long shot, but you know, a few decent fish. Nothing wrong with that. Couple around 10, 11 pounds. It's not too bad. Couple above average fish. I'm not slamming them today, but some days when the water's high, if you can find a concentration of fish, usually a slack water or a current break, outside of some place like a pool or a dam or something where they normally stack up, like on the edges, you can find a real good concentration of fish. I don't know why so many people are shy to fish high water or floods, you know, especially high water, but sometimes I've even found concentrations during floods. This guy doesn't feel huge. Feels like on the small side. They all kind of have though, but I think this guy's actually like somewhere between small and average for real this time. Oh man, he's tight little circles again. He's going back out. Okay, he's not tiny at least. Know that much. He ain't a 20 incher. Spinning reel drags are always so touchy on big reels. That's my experience with them, at least. Love to afford a bunch of catfish bait reels or bait casting reels, but can't right now. These guys are so touchy. It's usually one click between like mostly on drag and mostly off. That's what it becomes. I think it's because they get like mud in them and stuff, and it just makes too much friction. He's taking a few runs. He might be an okay sized one. It's really the only way I can judge them. They all kind of feel the same weight today, which is strange. You can't really judge their weight too well just from them fighting alone. I just got a braided 15-pound test on this, so I don't want to force them. This guy might actually be a decent one. Possible. He's really doing some pretty hard head shakes. He's probably about, it's hard to see because it's skin dark, but he's about 10 feet out now, and he's really dogging it. The rod's bent over. Oh yeah, there he is. This is where you gotta be careful. Once you get them close, especially if you're using mono like I am. Most people don't for cats, but that line stretch goes away when you get them close because you only have 10 feet of line out, so you can't count on it anymore. So you gotta just play them a little bit more carefully when you get them to the edge. Especially catfish. It seems like, you know, they're very strong fish, and when they swish their tail, they can just 180 and swish their tail. When they do that in high current, man, it's a very easy way to snap your line if you're not expecting it. I get more worried about these guys snapping my line than any other type of fish around here by a long shot. They fight so hard, and they turn around and they swish their long tails, which are really muscly, really strong. And they just, I don't know, they put a lot more stress on your line than any other type of fish around here, it seems, when they do that. And I gotta play this guy like a fiddle. He is a tricky one. He's just all over the place. Left, right, in, out, down, up. Going in circles. Jeepers. He's not even that big. I see him now. Definitely not as big as the last one. Fighting just about as hard though. It's 27 inches, 7.5 pounds. So, decent one. There he goes.